So, today we're going to talk about dating, why it sucks, why it's necessary, and hopefully give you guys some look into my experiences. And maybe you can garner some info off there, a little bit of my wisdom, if you will, and maybe prepare you for your own relationships or the relationship that you're in. Personally, I think they're worthless and they all suck. You should never be in one. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But really, they suck. But really, they suck. Kidding. First of all, excuse the bodybuilder T1 tank top. Have not changed since I went to the gym this morning. So, sue me. Just look at, a little buff. Nice and big, nice and big. No, I was driving around and I've been thinking about, videos to make. Sometimes I'll walk to the gym in the morning and I think about taking my phone and doing a little recording, but there's like people walking around, there's cars, the noise is just insane. I don't think anybody wants to deal with that. But I was thinking about, what's one thing that I have a decent amount of experience with that other people can relate to. Most people end up dating or wanting to date somebody. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Before we get into it, the link to my other channel will be in the description along with social media. Feel free to like and subscribe, do all that. Anyways, so dating. I'm not 25, and I wanted to have this video focus on dating before the age of 25, just because after 25 it might be different. You're more mature. Traditionally, you hang out with more mature people. Traditionally, so who knows? It might be a lot different at that point. But at least for me right now, it hasn't been super good. I'll say. Well, first I wanted to talk about relationships, why people get into them. I think a big part, at least in my experience, relationships are something. I think humans have a desire to connect with people, especially when you find that person attractive, or whether it be physically attractive or mentally attractive. There's a lot of people that I'm like, they're okay looking, but then they say something clever or cheeky to me, and they just have this way about them, and that's incredibly attractive. And I really enjoy people like that. I think a big part of the pool of relationships is being able to come home and you have somebody to talk to at the end of the day. About your job, about your problems, about the good things that happen to you. Who I talk to about that stuff? My mom and dad. It's it's a little different, but I love them, they love me, and we get each other. And I listen to their problems, all that good stuff. I've been in relationships, and I don't know, the ones I've been in haven't been super great. So honestly, I would rather go to them 9 times out of 10, or and some things I keep to myself, because I'm not that person that needs to divulge every little single thing. If I have an issue, chances are I'm going to take care of it myself. Not always, and I need their help on a lot of things, but I try to do as much by myself as possible. One thing I wanted to point out is I think our society really drives people to get into relationships, and there's some people that maybe shouldn't be in relationships. And then I know I always thought about, who am I going to marry? Who am I going to get married to? Because your parents are usually married. Some have been married more than once, and it seems like in school they talk about getting married and doing this. Most of your teachers are married with kids. Movies, you constantly see movies about romantic crap. Rom-coms and those Nicholas Sparks books into movie things. They're not bad movies, but they just set these unrealistic standards for. I would imagine most of their viewership is young ladies, but I've seen a few, so. It's just unrealistic. It's like, oh, this guy forgot about me for 20 years, and then he came back, and we fell in love and got married. Like, that's not real life. Sure, I'm sure somebody's had that happen to him, but everybody expects that. Once you see that movie, you're like, oh, that would be cool. And that's really where the conundrum is, because you should want the best for yourself, right? I don't want to be with somebody that's not who I think is going to make me a better person, somebody that I could be with the rest of my life. But how do I know who that person is? You know, there's what, 7 trillion people in the world, and so let's divide that up between how many are in America and how many are in your state, your city. Most of us aren't going to travel that much, so you're not going to meet a lot of people. How do you know that that chick you met at the bar is the right one? Chances are she's probably not, and that sucks. I always, whenever I start talking to somebody, there's always a little bit of a doubt. It's like, yeah, this person's cool, but there's somebody out there that's probably better. Because I've met people like that. People that, the one girl I talked to, she explained it the most poetic ways possible. And she said, there's people that light your aura on fire. That really resonated with me. I was like, yes, that's it. That's what it feels like. There's people that you feel like you're supposed to be around and that you can't control. People that you feel like you're supposed to be with. Guess what? Sometimes it doesn't work out, but there's people that you never forget. I think those are, maybe not soulmates. I don't know if that's a real thing, but those are the people you're supposed to be with. Not this chick that, she's cool and, she's pretty, but there shouldn't be a but when you get in a relationship, in my opinion. Why do they suck? Well, when you get into a relationship, for those of you who haven't been in one, start out great. You're going out to eat all the time. You're having fun with each other all the time. You go to movies, sporting events. You meet each other's parents. I'm pretty good with parents, so that's always a little ego boost. Is when the parents are like, "Oh, he's such a sweet boy," la la la, and I'm over here like, "You have no idea." No, I'm kidding. But it always seems to slowly deteriorate. And maybe I'm doing something wrong in my relationships, but I'm not, because I'm perfect. But maybe I am. They always end up sucking at some point. And most people in today's day and age are so convinced that they're right about everything, which makes arguments really hard. I try not to argue as much as possible because I think they're stupid. I don't see a reason to argue with you about something. If you're mad at me, I need you to communicate with me why you're mad at me, and then we'll go from there. And if I think you're wrong and that's a stupid thing to be mad about, I'm going to say it. Now, obviously you can speak with tact and try to not sound like a jerk when you say things, but you still have to, there's things that need to be said. People suck at communicating nowadays. People lie a lot nowadays. Nowadays, like I've been alive for 100 years. That's been my experience. And maybe I just pick not great people, but and I'm not perfect myself either, to be honest. I've done bad things in relationships too. But people lie. People are dishonest. And I think a big thing, and I know this is a big thing for me, is what you want changes incredibly frequently. I know there'll be days when I'm crazy about somebody, and then the next day it's like, it's like, oh well, I was crazy about this person, but now that I've known them for 6 months, the beauty wears off a little bit. That newness to it, it's like, So I don't think that's love. I think that's infatuation, and I think people get that confused fairly often. So that's one reason they suck, is they just end up not succeeding. And what sucks even more is that you put time out of your life into these relationships. You put time, you put money, you put emotion into somebody, and next thing you know, it's all for nothing. That sucks. No one likes that. That sucks. The emotional hurt of a breakup sucks too, especially if you live with a significant other. Side by side, you basically, you have a little piece of each other, and letting that go, that's rough. It sucks, especially if it seems like the other person doesn't care as much, or it ended badly and they got a new relationship, or you're in a new relationship. That causes all kinds of other issues, but that sucks. Rejection, not that I would know anything about it. Just kidding. I get rejected too, often. No one likes me. I'm not that attractive. Rejection sucks, I would imagine. Going out and seeing somebody that you think is cute, and then next thing you know, they're like, I'm good. That sucks. No, not very many people have the mentality to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Maybe this isn't meant to be. Yeah, I respect that. Most people, myself included, are going to be like, what's wrong with me? What the hell? What? Excuse me? So, there's a lot of risk to getting in a relationship. But here's why they're necessary. You can't go 25 years without dating, or you're screwed. You ever seen 40-Year-Old Virgin with Steve Carell? That's what I imagine people that don't date. You have to, and I'm not saying you gotta put a ring on and get engaged, do all this, but even just interacting with people, you have to get out there and try to make a connection with people, or you become stone. I mean, my old roommate was like one of the manliest, no emotion having people I ever met, and he dated 2 girls, and I don't know, that doesn't really have anything to do with this. I'm just saying, pretty much anybody that's not a freaking weirdo can get a girlfriend. I'm not saying go out there and just date for the heck of it, but it doesn't hurt to go out to a bar or go to, I don't know, man, library, a theme park, the movies. Go out to eat by yourself. Make connections with people and then expand on that. I think that's really what you should be doing. You need to do that, because then when you find somebody that you really click with and that sets your aura on fire, that's when you need that experience to be like, oh, hey, what's up? Otherwise, you're just going to be like, oh, this is awkward. I don't know what I'm doing talking to other girls, and then they're gone. You missed your chance because you didn't know what you were doing. That being said, you don't have to get married. You don't have to date anybody. You don't have to do anything except become a better person yourself and make sure that you're happy. And obviously, if you have kids and a wife, then you're responsible for other people. But until then, you're responsible for yourself. Make sure that you stay out of jail, not doing drugs, and that you're happy. Unless these first 2 things make you happy, in which case you got some issues that we're not going to talk about today. I don't foresee myself ever getting married. I think it's, I don't want to say a scam, but it kind of is, man. I can't see myself liking someone enough to give up the freedom that I have. I don't like girls. I like to come home and play video games, right? After work. I don't want girls being like, oh no, eat dinner with me, do this, do that. I want to go pick up some Taco Bell after work, scarf it down on the way home, play video games till 3 a.m., go to sleep. And maybe that'll change, but it hasn't yet. So for me to change something and put a part of myself, put aside part of myself just to impress someone or try to gain favor with someone, don't ever do that. I've been in that position before too. Don't do it. Stay true to yourself. Be yourself. And if somebody feels a connection with you, explore it. See what happens. Be honest with that person. If you're not feeling it, say that. If you are feeling it, say that. Be honest. Be clear. That's all the advice I got. Keep in mind I'm single and suck at relationships, so this whole video might just take it with a grain of salt. But maybe it'll be better after 25. Don't know. Not even close to 25. A little close to 25. But anyways, that's all I got to say about it. I'm going to go edit this real quick, upload it. I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're digging my muscles, because big. Alright, I'm going to play some League of Legends, and I need to upload on my gaming channel because it's been a minute. So have a good one, guys. Appreciate you watching. Later.